Welcome to episode 6 of the Inside Byte. We're at 6 now. Woohoo. How's it going?
Everything's good, man. Hello, everyone. We're still here. We're still making this work. I'm pretty happy about it. It's going well. So I think we have a good topic today, too. So that's exciting.
I still just been sick all week. I think I'm feeling good today. We'll see. I feel pretty chipper, but I did
Good.
sleep a good, probably 12 to 15 hours.
that'll that'll definitely help for sure. God, that sucks, man. Being sick like that, it's the worst.
The only good thing is because I've been laying around. First of all, it feels awful just laying around all day. I can't stand it. It drives me insane.
Yeah.
I want to do something, but then I'm like, all right, I'm just going to get up and do something anyway. And then 10 seconds later, I'm dizzy and I'm like, all right, I can't do this. I got to sit down.
Right.
The good thing is I am just playing a lot of games and working through a lot of stuff that I've always wanted to play and just never felt I had the time.
I'm right there with you, man. I feel like I know there's the whole thing about the backlog. Everyone always talks like I feel like people approach it differently, right? Some people that's their main focus. I can't play this new game because I still have games I haven't played yet. Others are like, I'll play whatever I want. And then there's people like me who are kind of somewhere in the middle. I have a lot of games that I'm working my way through, but a new game drops, I immediately go there. But I feel like I've been making pretty good progress with a lot of the old ones. I mean, I'm playing games that are like 20 years old at this point, so
I'll purposely not have like a backlog list or anything, or even try to keep it in my head what I want to play next. I really always want to keep it to like what I'm in the mood for and let my mood drive me. I never actually have a list.
That's the best way to do it. And I've gotten better and heading towards that, but I'm still someone who has like, okay, here's all the games that I've downloaded that I want to get to.
Oh yeah, I'll purposely keep games installed. That way it forces me to look at them.
Yep.
And then that way I'll play them that way. I'll do that.
Yeah.
But in no way am I whipping out a list, is all I'm saying.
Oh yeah. Yep. That's me too. But when you have Steam, you can't be a Steam user unless you have a ton of games that you'll never play that you downloaded because you got them on sale. So
yeah, but that's the thing. I just purposely don't install them.
Oh man. There's some stuff coming out we got to talk about. I think next week there's a
Tales comes out.
When is that dropping again?
Next month.
Ooh,
but I don't know
nice.
the exact date. But that's my biggest one.
I've always been a Tales fan. I mean, you brought up Tales of Symphonia the other day. That was one of the earlier ones that I loved a lot, and ever since then, I've played a lot of them. But it's been a while since I dove into a Tales game, and I think I might not play this one right away because I have so many games to play, and I know these games are long and they're involved, but it looks really good. It looks like it's coming out on September 10th, so definitely not that far away.
Have you played a Tales like anything after like GameCube PS2 days?
Yeah, I played. Oh my God, there was one that came out on Switch. It was Tales of the Abyss. Does that sound right?
No, that wasn't Switch. That was 3DS.
No, I'm thinking of 3DS. There was one that I swear came out on Switch, I think.
It's Tales of Vesperia.
Maybe that was the one. It's been a little while. Yeah.
Probably one of the best ones too.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. It was a really solid game. I got like a good chunk of the way in and I had an awesome time, but I didn't finish it. That's the same thing. I know you've been talking about Xenoblade Chronicles lately. Those games are so good and I've just never beaten any of them. And that's not like me normally. Normally I see it through, but I don't know why I haven't beaten those games.
I'm bad about that. I'm bad about playing stuff and never finishing it. I'm sure that's the majority of what I played, even if I loved it. I still haven't beaten Ghosts of Tsushima yet. And I'm like, 20 hours in? I just really want like a big, meaty PS5 exclusive that really takes advantage of the hardware, and we have something super amazing. Everything's been like, even if it was for PS5, maybe Ratchet's probably the only thing that looks like it's blowing you away when you're looking at it, but it's only like a 10-hour game, and it doesn't. I don't know. I can't get that same feeling out of like a cartoon 3D platformer.
Right.
Unless maybe it's Mario, and that's like the only time I ever get that feeling of like, wow, this is something incredible. I just can't get that out of Ratchet.
I totally get that. I played it and I had a lot of fun with it, but I did have those. First of all, I had the moment of like, is the game over already? Wow, I can't believe it's done. But also besides that, I get what you're saying. It's not this big blockbuster, But all that being said, the game is so fun, man. I had an awesome time. It really reminds me, it's so funny to compare it to this game because they're nothing alike, but it reminds me of Doom because in Doom Eternal, you have to constantly switch. You can't get away with just using one weapon, right?
Yeah,
These kinds of enemies use the shotgun. These kinds use their shit, whatever. That's how Ratchet was too. Like you had to keep changing throughout the whole thing. So I kind of like that about it. But yeah, you're right. It was super short. and it was like very simple story, and that was it, and then it was over. So
And I don't know why I feel really biased, like some Nintendo fanboy or something. Why is Mario this exception to the rule? Because
I
any
know
other style of that game, I don't really care much for it. It's just kind of
it's
whatever to me.
it's just Mario just does it so well, man. I know it's popular these days for people to be like, oh well, these games do it better than Mario, but I really don't know if that's true, man. I just a new Mario game is just. I remember I played Odyssey and I was just blown away again. I'm like, how do they keep doing this? How are they able to pull this off in such a well-made game, over
Like
and over and
Odyssey
over?
did it where I couldn't even I didn't want to put it. I didn't want to play anything else. Like I was
Right.
addicted, and there's so many moons to get. You playing it for like months.
Yep. Yeah.
And I couldn't be happier. And then they did the same thing like Galaxy before that. Galaxy 1 was my favorite game
A
for,
great
like
game.
within like a 10-year gap from when that came out. Like for real. I would put that in like a top 10 easily.
Yep. I remember when that game first came out and I played it, I was just amazed. Like when you would do a long jump and swing around the whole world, I was like, this is so crazy. I love this
Yeah.
game. There's some games I think, and we'll talk about that later. I don't want to mention it, they'll keep it a surprise, but there's some games that I feel do like the platforming aspect of it on the same level as Mario. When you get to the 2D games and stuff, but not a lot. Just few and far in between. So
Bringing it back to my original point, I'm saying all this to say, like, if Abandon is a Kojima project, anytime I play anything Kojima, like Metal Gear Solid, even a Silent Hill, or even Death Stranding, like I'm telling you, I get that feeling of like, oh my god, I'm playing something incredibly special. I just want this to be the case so bad, and it really is feeling like it was until just a bunch of info came out on. Let's just get into it here. So 2015, they announced a horror game called Rewind, delayed the playable teaser for the game because of technical issues, said it will have VR, then they canceled the VR, then they canceled the Kickstarter that they started for it, said the game development is on halt and they'll let us know when the development continues, then said they had a new project that they're working on, and then announced that, like much later, that, oh, we started working back on Rewind again. And then the game was just never released, and the website was eventually deleted. And that was 2015. That same year, they announced this Lost Tape game. Again, that was very soon after Metal Gear Solid 5 was
right,
out, and Lost Tape being super important into that.
right.
So I'm figuring there's a link there. And maybe this whole time they're just adding these links on purpose just for the hype of people, and none of this is real, is what I'm feel like
From
is happening
from
now.
2020, would they be? I believe this more when I didn't realize they were doing things since 2015. Like we don't believe that they've been doing this from 2015 to now, leading up to whatever this game is, right? At least I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't, because again, the Lost Tape thing, that was 2015. This thing was soon after Metal Gear Solid 5 released.
Sure.
Wouldn't you still be? Well, see, that's where I'm split, because in one way, it could further prove that, oh, maybe that's now work towards Kojima put that in on purpose because later on he's actually going to do something with it. So he needs something Last Tape, and they're
Fair,
connecting it
fair.
that way secretly. Or it's just meaning that he's just pulling from whatever's popular at the time.
Who the
And,
hell knows, man?
anyway, so 2017 or that 2015, that Lost Tape thing said there would be a stream of gameplay soon, and then nothing was ever done. There was no gameplay stream, and then it never came out, and that's just it. 2017, they announced a new horror game, The Whisperer, coming out in June 2017. The game never came out. Now, we're not knowing of anything till now because it took somebody going deep
Right.
digging through all this. Like, obviously, you're not going to hear of every little indie, small little project that people are working on.
Yep.
Obviously, there has to be word and there has to be some reason for people to talk about it. So it sounds crazy now, but at the time, we didn't know any of this stuff.
Yeah. Well,
Um,
it took all the hype for someone to be like, all right, I'm gonna get to the bottom of this, and they sure did. So.
Right, so it keeps going here. 2018 announces a multiplayer horror game, Unseen Faces. That game never came out. 2019, they release a mobile app called Tales of the Six Swords. They stole an anime character art and made it its app icon.
Nice.
Said an update is coming to this now working app. The update never came out. The app was eventually removed from the store. Releases a horrible horror game called The Haunting on Steam in early access. I did see footage of this. Like, I found some on YouTube. I mean, it actually looked like, this could be something. You can tell it's like really early, but it did look kind of promising. Anyway, game receives 100% negative reviews. They removed the buy option. Says a big update is coming very soon. Delays the update. The update was never released. They quit developing the game and gave it to someone else to finish it. But the studio didn't finish developing it either. This year in 2021, they announced a new horror game, Abandon. Said that the PS5 real-time app will be available August 10th. Said they had technical issues and are working to resolve it. And then they did get it running the 13th, but then okay, so they released this thing on Twitter, maybe August. I don't know the exact date. I want to say the 7th or 6th, somewhere in there, of this 4-second little teaser trailer thingy of this dude just walking on a wooden floor. You just see his pants, shoes, him walking on this floor. That's it. And it's like angled downwards.
A few seconds. Yeah.
They didn't actually release it the 10th because they were saying they were having technical issues because of some graphical effects that were going on. We get it on the 13th. The update, it's a 5 gig update. The app is already 2 or 3 gigs, so now we got like 8 gigs on the system, and all it was that same 4-second trailer of the dude walking on a wooden floor that we already saw. And apparently in that same app there's these empty spots for other trailers to be put. Jeez. I just, like, people are waiting days. Twitter's exploding every day on like, why isn't it working? Get this working. They keep having to apologize, saying they're really sorry. They're having all these problems. So you're having all these problems just to run something that you like. I guess it's not a trailer. They keep specifying that it is actually just the game running. And who cares? Okay, there's a graphical issue in the 4 seconds of the guy walking on the wood. Even if there was, like, that's better to just release it anyway than people to wait days and days just to see the same thing we already saw. Of course, that's gonna piss people off.
This all just doesn't. It just doesn't make any sense to me. I'm so confused. I thought, okay, all this nonsense we dealt with leading up to it, fine, okay, whatever, right? And then they even put out the little, like you just mentioned, the little hype video. Are you ready? Oh, here it comes. Okay, great. We're all excited. 3 comes and goes, hours later, and the tweets they're putting out are so, like we mentioned last hour, so like robotic too. Please have patience. We are working as hard as we can. Blah blah blah. Okay, whatever. And then for it to finally come out and there's a patch. And then every comment I see on Twitter is, don't waste your time. It's just the video we already saw. I'm like, what are these guys doing? I refuse to believe that these are just normal people doing this. I can't accept that at this point. So.
Oh, and the servers were really overloaded. So when I was trying to download the patch, it was, again, 5 gigs, right? It took me 70 minutes to download.
Oh my god.
And I could have just like looked online and saw what it was, but I didn't want to be spoiled. So I was purposely like avoiding the internet, waiting for it to finish and just playing something else and switching back and forth to it. And it's finally installed. I'm getting all hyped. I literally like turn off the lights. And then it's just that. And I was like, all right. I immediately at that second just wanted to quit all of this. I just like, I don't care anymore.
As soon as I saw what the actual patch was, I was like, these guys better get ready. I saw people commenting, like Colin put like some little meat. First he put like the Judge Judy like tapping her wrist, like, well, come on. Then he put like another, like his face looking all disappointed and stuff. I'm like, these guys are gonna get so much crap now. On top, I don't feel bad for them. If they're a little studio at this point, I really don't feel bad for them. They're handling this so poorly.
How can all these projects in the past exist, but this somehow be real? Like, okay, so Kojima planned all of these failed projects over the last 6 years. There's no way that's true. I think this is a big piece of crap. And then that leads to the bigger discussion of, okay, if all of this is true, these are all projects that they worked on and all failed, never really did anything with, why is PlayStation picking them up then? And then it's probably PlayStation probably didn't even know. And that just further proves like what their incompetence of, like, they don't even know who the hell they're even supporting.
it doesn't seem like PlayStation to let. I feel like they talk up. We have Xbox here these days talking about their services a lot, how user friendly they are, and everything. Right? That's like been a big thing for them lately. Sony, the only thing they know how to say is about how great their games are. So why would they come out and support something like this? And then I saw Shu posted the other day. He's just like,
Yeah,
like a little
he what he was the president.
right.
What was he? He was the president of
He
Sony,
was
right?
he was the president until recently, like not
And
that
then
long ago.
now he's like in charge of all the indie stuff. Which okay, so and Shu's posting about this, so he's clearly aware. So
Right.
what? He's now running like this complete crap show.
I don't know, man. I really don't know what to even think. So at this point, are they expecting us to? We got the patch. Are they now expecting that we're waiting for something further? Have we been given a date or anything? I don't think we have for anything else, right?
There's no day. They're all just coming soon.
It
The
just
little trailers
says
afterwards.
the patch is now live. Please check the update availability, access to the app, a short introduction teaser, and that's it. Right. And I love how they respond to their responses to people are so funny. Like this guy, anyone else not have the update? Yeah, it should be coming up in a few minutes. Smiley face. I'm like, why are you guys acting like everyone doesn't hate everything you're doing right now?
And yeah, that's the thing. And then people don't even like know what they're about to see. Obviously, you know what they're about to see, and yet you're sounding all chipper, like
Right,
as if
right.
they're about to see something awesome. You know what they're about to see. It's your product.
Oh my god.
You know they're just gonna see that 4-second dude walking on wood. Like and yet you're like, it's coming, don't worry. Like if you knew that, you would be talking in this vein. You would, I guess, what, just secretly put it out there and not really say anything. Why would you be hyping up something like that just to get destroyed? You know, people are gonna crap all over you. That's almost like why I feel there's like a sense of maybe all this is true, of like this really is this Silent Hill Kojima thingy or
Right.
something. Only because what, there's no way Shu doesn't know what's going on. And if
Right.
that's true, he really doesn't know what's going on. Like, I've lost complete faith in Sony at this point. There's no
He's
way. They
he's got to
must
be in the
know.
know, man.
They must know there's something more crazy behind the scenes. But then how does that explain the last 6 years of complete trash that the
Right.
studio's dealt with?
That's where we're lost. And if this is some sort of marketing tactic, then how long are you going to make us? I feel like there's a balance, right? You can hype people up, get them excited about something, string them along, and then you do the big reveal. But this is just getting to the point where people, if you look at the comments on Twitter,
They
people are
got
getting
too
so
far like
frustrated.
6 months ago. They've
Right,
already
right.
went too far.
This like I'm just looking at random comments. I don't want to hear another single thing from this shit. All that noise for the short teaser you already shared on Twitter. Shame on you. And then there's all these people. Yeah, delete the app. It's just like people are not happy. So we shall see what happens with that. I don't think it needs to be a big topic anymore. These guys have lost a lot of goodwill and I think wasted a lot of people's time. So until we get something, I guess, a bigger update, then
I
I guess
mean, there
that's
just
that.
needs to be a bigger conversation. I'm not saying right now, but there needs to be a bigger conversation on what the fuck. Okay, so what is Sony doing right now? Then
Right.
I don't
Right.
get it. Do they know or do they not know?
I need to know at the end of all this. I want to know if it turns out that this was just a really crappy company and they messed up and
Sony's gonna have to talk and try to say something or try to explain themselves, because yes, if this isn't secretly some awesome thing, right, and it really is just this independent crap and doing the same stuff they've been doing for the last 6 years, like Sony can't just shove it under the rug and pretend like it didn't happen. You let them release an app that no one else has ever done on your platform.
oh man.
Everything on the very bottom of any trailer, anything, it all just says like Sony copyright all over it. They showed it off at their own event.
Right. Yeah, the last thing I'll say
Wasn't it in a state of play?
wasn't it just a I
No, it
don't
was the blog.
know.
It
It
was
was
the
just a
blog.
blog post. It was the blog post. But
But still,
even
it's
still
on their official blog post,
that's
which
big.
they treat very seriously.
I can't wait to hear Colin on Sacred Symbols talk about this update. It's going to be funny, I'm sure. But the last thing I'll say about this before we leave it alone is it seems that he's done this playable teaser approach many times. It seems that that's been his,
Right.
his sort of way to get people interested. Because when you're looking back at the old ones, there's some other documents that are a little more detailed, and they say specifically, "Oh yeah, they were going to do a playable teaser for this." That just seems to be like the language he uses to get people excited, but it has not worked every time. So, I'm sick of this guy already. Oh,
I'm
Hassan
like
Karman.
pulling my hairs out.
Anyway, what do we
All
have
right,
next?
on to number 2. There's not a single PS4 or PS5 game in the top 30 sales in Japan. So, for the first time since in the late 1980s, the Japanese sell charts are dominated by a single console. The latest Famitsu results, which track physical, so this is physical, but whatever, track physical software sales through the beginning of August, are completely occupied in Nintendo Switch titles. From position 1 to 30, they're all Switch titles.
Wow.
So, and this hasn't happened since, again, 1980. So this is quite a big moment. And gaming has really only been a thing, since like late 60s, early 70s. And even that was very small little
and it
things.
wasn't big yet. Yep.
Yeah.
There was a point when the PS4 was launching that I had a sort of realization. PlayStation's always been is a Japanese company, obviously, but I remember when they launched the PS4, and for the first time ever, they didn't launch it in Japan on day one. They launched it here day one, and I believe Japan, if I remember correctly, it was maybe a week later, something like that. But I remember ever since then, I was thinking like, wow, I think they're
And
starting
they
to
shifted
realize.
all their focus to like
Right.
Sony of America. They're one who makes all the shots now. They don't even let Sony make the shots anymore over in Japan.
I think that's why we're here now, because I think they're realizing that people in Japan, overwhelmingly prefer to play on some sort of handheld device, first of all. And secondly, it seems like their focus has moved completely to here. I mean, they sell a ton over here. So if I don't have it off the top of my head, but if I had to look it up, I would almost bet that the majority of their sales have to be here, right?
Maybe PS3 and PS4 was still like big, even though not as big as it used to be in the past, because they had PSP, they had Vita. And so when you get consoles and then you have handhelds and you have like interactivity between the two, maybe that then incentivized Japanese players. But this is the first time they don't have a handheld anymore. And maybe that's all it took this whole time.
Oh, well, look at this. So I found something. It says Europe, 48 million units, and then North America, 38 million units. Okay, so I was slightly off, but it's still up there. Then it says rest of the world, 20. Then it says Japan, 9.37 million units. So
of what unit? How long?
This was PlayStation 4's as of August 2021 by region. If you add all those up, I'm pretty sure that's the total. 48, 38, 20, and 9. That's crazy. I didn't know it was
that's pretty bad.
really that low.
It's hitting like Xbox numbers in Japan or something. They really just aren't caring anymore.
But I think there's something shifting in Japan. That's why the Switch is so big over there. I mean, the Switch is big here, but I'm sure huge over there. And they play mobile games a lot over there too, I know. So I don't know.
That's been the whole fear with like, okay, so PS4 games, all the big titles, they really are like Western games or Western developed even. There's not that big of Japanese games on PS4 or even PS5. Like they've went from like crawling to pretty much non-existent at this point. I can't really think of any huge Japanese game that's just on PlayStation right now, like in the last 2 years.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. So they're definitely moving away from that.
I mean, how do you feel about that? I like all the Japanese stuff. I'm very big into Japanese RPGs or super weird stuff like Gravity Rush and whatever. Like, that's right up my alley of stuff I like. So I am like pretty disappointed because I like PlayStation when they're being weird Japanese Sony PlayStation. I don't like. Sure, God of War is awesome and Spider-Man's awesome, but that isn't why I get the system.
I still am a huge fan of those classic either JRPGs or just a lot of the Japanese made games are some of my favorites usually. So yeah,
I mean, From Software couldn't be any bigger right now, and that couldn't be any more Japanese. So.
Right, and that's one of my favorite developers. So that stuff makes me happy. But I feel like there's been a sort of a taking over of these Western RPGs in the last, let's say, 5 to 10 years. They've kind of blown up way bigger, And
yeah, when like Fallout 3 came out and then Elder Scrolls and stuff, and whenever it was like real big, I never thought it would hit the point of, oh, well, that's cool. Western finally gets big RPGs that they can call their own. I didn't know in 10 years that it's going to turn into, well, now that's all there is.
That's all there is. Yeah, it's highly saturated now with all these big RPGs, and we get, there's so many that come out every year. We get maybe a few every year that are, I wouldn't even say a few. We get maybe one or two a year that are like, this is a game that we're talking about for a long, long time. Like a Mass Effect quality game. I mean,
the last one in any Japanese area, it's Death Stranding. I can't think of a bigger one in recent time. And that
yeah,
was Kojima, and that's why I was so hyped, because I want that weird Japanese stuff again. And now
right.
I'm just like, well, abandoned. There's no way it's that. I don't know. Anyway, there's no way it's that anymore. So now what am I looking? I'm looking forward to Tales, like we were saying earlier.
Sales, yep, that's something to
But
look forward
again,
to.
that's like multi-platform. That has nothing to do with Sony caring if they have Japanese games or not.
Yeah.
If the PlayStation didn't exist, that game would still exist, is what I'm saying.
I don't think they have anything that I can think of in the foreseeable future that's a Japanese game locked on their system or anything like that. So I think they've kind of moved away from it. Remember that period of time where Xbox was like diving headfirst into all the Japanese games? They were getting all those good games on 360.
Yeah,
Like
they're doing it again now, though. I'm telling
yeah,
you, like, if you look on all the stuff going into Game Pass, it is a lot of Japanese stuff. And then Phantasy Star Online 2, that is the biggest game in Japan. It actually is. And the fact that it's on Xbox and not on PlayStation, that's huge. Like, people
yeah,
don't realize that.
that was
But
big.
that is Sega's biggest moneymaker. That's like the only reason they're even floating around these days. They don't really have any other big IPs that they're releasing today on like
Right.
the average. They
Right.
had big IPs, but they didn't do anything with them. But anyway, Phantasy Star Online 2, it's huge. It is the biggest online game in Japan. They make a killing off of that game.
That's
And
nuts.
why is it on Xbox and not PlayStation?
Yeah.
I feel like Microsoft is being aggressive, and I think they're seeing an opportunity because they couldn't be falling off any harder on Sony's side. So why don't they just go and just pick up what they're clearly not supporting anymore or caring about anymore?
Yeah, I just feel that they don't care as much anymore, but they're not being smart about it because they're letting Microsoft come in and take advantage. And we all know Microsoft has money for days, so they have the ability to come in and do what they need to do, and they're being really smart about it. So I don't know. I see, let's say, the public opinion of Xbox is slowly changing for the better over the last few years, and it's just getting better and better for them. So I feel that Microsoft's reputation, or Xbox specifically, has just been improving and improving and improving over the years, and it's only getting better. They just keep making moves that make people happy, that make people feel like, oh wow, they're really doing things, to make us feel better about this. And they have a face now. They have Phil Spencer. I don't feel that PlayStation these days, they got rid of all their people that
Shu
I
was
really
their
like.
face,
Yeah,
and they put
Shu
him
and
into the independent stuff, which
right.
I guess is cool, but he clearly is screwing up.
I loved Shu, and there were a few other, Jack Trenton, I think his name was. I liked him.
Jack Britton, he was cool, yeah.
Yeah, there was a few really kind of enjoyable faces of PlayStation, and now it's like, who's the face anymore? The woman who talks in the State of Play? That's all we have now.
It's kind of like the United States. Like we're not looking at what's it? I can't even think of his name right now. Our president.
Oh,
No
Biden.
one's like looking at him like, oh, he's a cool guy. Like,
Yeah, man, he's so smooth.
like
So
Sony's hitting that United States government level of complete, just no one has any interest in who you are.
yeah, well, I want to tie that into the next one. I'll take this next one. So speaking of Phil Spencer, he posted on Twitter about how much he's enjoying the Steam Deck, which is obviously the device we spoke about a few episodes ago. But he said, was at Valve Software this week talking with Scott, Eric, Gabe about Steam Deck. After having mine most of the week, I can say it's a really nice device. Games with me on the go, screen size, controls are all great. Playing Halo and Age feels good. xCloud works well. Congrats, Steam Deck team. So I was already excited for this, but I don't know, seeing another person, another CEO of a company like this talk it up. So I mean, he does stuff like this all the time, but it just I'm happy to see his positive reception to it. It just gets me more excited about it, especially knowing
I've
Halo.
never seen him like hype something
Yeah,
and him not actually like it. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't
right,
feel fake. Like
right,
if he
right,
hyped like a big game, like when Last of Us 2 came out and he was talking about how great it was, like
right.
he doesn't sit there and like say that when any game just comes out or any
Yeah, that's
device
true.
comes out.
That's true.
He's not, oh my god, this is amazing, you should go buy it or something like
Or
that.
like the answers that they give sometimes. Like I remember they asked someone from Sony, "So what's
Oh, I
one of your
remember
favorite
that was
games
horrible.
recently?" He's like, "Well, we have Horizon in the near future. I'm looking forward to that." Like the most PR answers ever. It's just like, give me a break, man. You
Yeah,
really don't
this
play any of
doesn't
these
sound
games,
PR. This actually sounds like he actually been with it for a week and actually really
right?
likes it, and it excites me because it feels
That's
real.
awesome. I'm so excited for this thing, man. I can't wait. Hopefully, I can get one in December, like it says. So we
And
shall
he
see.
has it, and he's enjoying it and using it and all that. There's no way, because that was my big worry, was like, well, I need Game Pass on that thing
Oh yeah,
because I use it a ton, and oh my god, would I love the actual portable device. Yeah, my phone is cool and I use it a ton, but this is a lot cooler than my phone. So
I'm super excited, man. And this might make me want to get Game Pass because on a handheld, it's just nice to be able to jump into whatever you want. Any little game here and there. So
yeah, the fact that you're not buying them individually, you know
right.
how much that, okay, 5 games at 30 a piece.
Oh yeah,
What
it's a lot of
that's
money.
a lot of money. And then you just turn around and like not buy any of them. Even if
Mhm.
they come and go, I see a lot of fears of people being like, well, what if I'm really into a game and then it just leaves? Okay, first of all, it's like a minimum of a year that it's on that service. They're
Right,
not
right.
putting in a game and 3 months later it's gone. They do that with PlayStation Now, but they don't do that with Game Pass. They're at least 9 months, I want to say.
Right. You'll play it if
Oh
you're
yeah.
into it. You'll play it way well before that
You're
anyway.
not
So
gonna see it hit and then what? Like it be on there for a whole year and you not touch it and then get mad when it's gone. Like at that
yep.
point it's kind of your fault. But
No, I'm super excited about that. So whenever that drops, I will definitely be grabbing that
because think about it, if
immediately.
we could like turn on our Switch and then
Hmm.
you could just get all these games off of the eShop and not even
Yeah,
have to
yeah.
like individually buy them and
Be
you're
so
just able to
awesome.
download and play. You know how cool that is? Like, anyway.
Yeah, pumped about that.
All
Um,
right. Next story here. Pokemon Presents event is announced for next week. The Pokemon Company announces a Pokemon Present event to reveal new details regarding Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, as well as Legends Arceus. Going to air it August 18th, and it'll be around 28 minutes long.
how do you feel about these games? Are you looking forward to them at all or anything? Or
Yes. Actually both of them pretty hard. I'm a
okay,
big Pokemon guy though. Now, in the recent years, I don't know. Like I keep buying them cuz I'm a sucker, but I've been pretty disappointed on
yeah,
it's been since 3DS of not even Sun and Moon. I didn't really like it. The only I liked X and Y. And anything after that, I have yet to even like. I'll play 10 to 20 hours, feel like I've done this before and I'm super bored, but I'm trying to like force myself to play through it and maybe it'll get better. And it just keeps getting worse and worse. And then I just don't care anymore. And I've been doing it with every release. But I'm just
yep.
hoping for one of them to grab me because I just wish I could get back into like I remember the feeling of being super into it. And it just hasn't actually happened for me recently.
Yeah, I am pretty much in the same boat as you. X and Y was the last one that I played extensively. Got into multiplayer, your training, all that stuff. And then Sun and Moon came out. I picked it up and I was excited for it. And then I don't know, I just kind of lost interest
It's weird
quickly.
because it looks like they did a lot of new things. They did do a lot
Right.
of new things and change it up a bunch, but that wasn't the issue. The issue is something bigger than that. It's like
Right, right. They need. And I'm not even like a Pokemon hater. I know there's so many people who hate on Pokemon all the time. I'm fine with Pokemon. The thing is, I just wanted them to kind of reinvent themselves, grab me again, pull me in. So then Sword and Shield came out. I didn't give it a fair shot. I don't know why. I thought I'd be super excited for a new Pokemon game,
I gave it
especially
a
one
fair
that.
shot and I love the open world stuff and all of that,
Mhm.
but still 15 hours in, I'm still just like I don't care. I
Yeah,
was trying to care and I didn't.
I'm hoping this new one, the Arceus or whatever. When I saw the trailer for it, it looked a little rough. I know it was early in development, so that's fine. But I'm hoping on the 18th when they show this off, maybe it'll be the one that pulls me in. So who knows? I guess we're in a similar situation then.
That's where most of my hype is Legends, but that trailer looks so bad. But that's the
Yeah.
thing, like it could just be super super early, but why would you even show it in it?
Right.
I'm telling you, it looked like an N64 game
It
in
looked
its
rough, man.
graphics. It
Definitely.
looked
So,
horrible, but the premise and like the blueprints of it, if they were to explain it and not show any footage, like I'm super hyped on the premise.
hmm
It's just whatever they showed couldn't look any worse.
Yeah, it did not. did not look good. So I'm gonna be keeping an eye on that next week. All right, and it's kind
Oh,
of
one more thing
meaty.
too.
Yeah.
Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl, whatever. I never played those. That's like the only
Okay.
Pokemon I think ever of any generation that I never touched.
That'll be
So I
nice for
am
you.
looking forward to that. Yeah, because it's going to be new experience for me, even though it's a
Right.
remake. Because I never played the original. So
That's awesome.
hopefully that's really good, and I just fall into it again from there.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on that. It looks like a beefy presentation, 28 minutes. I mean, that's quite a bit of time. So maybe they'll show us a lot of it. Who knows? Hopefully they don't spend time with these fillers that they do sometimes though. Like this is so and so. He works at the Pokemon company. Here's his office. I'm like, no one cares about
Yeah,
this.
here's 10 minutes of a guy talking in his office.
We'll look forward to that. I really hope we're sitting here a week from now and saying it was great. We're both really excited, even for one of these. Please, just get me excited about Pokemon.
Let's say Legends has this big reveal and it actually looks really great.
Right?
And because that's the thing, like, yeah, we know the Switch isn't that powerful, but you can still have a lot of
Oh
style and
yeah,
let the style drive the show. There's plenty of games that are
totally.
amazing on the Switch. So
Yep,
just don't try to make it too technical in sense of like trying to make really good looking textures, but then it runs horribly and it looks bad. Like,
totally agree. All right, want to talk about what we're playing, watching, etc. Real quick? I
yeah,
don't have
yeah.
many changes, but there's one or two that are big changes for me. So I took a break from playing the Halo campaigns. I got to ODST, which I played the first two missions and I really loved it. It's exactly kind of like what you and some of my other friends are saying. It seems to be more of a sort of personal story. It seems like you care about the characters a little more. So I was loving that. It's
It
great so far.
feels like a first person shooter in the Halo universe, not necessarily like Halo 2, 3, or 4 or whatever.
Agreed. Yep. It feels like a little side story, you know. I'm enjoying it a lot so far. I stopped though. I didn't want to get too deep into it because so this brings me to the next game, which is I've been playing Psychonauts, which is a game that came out, man, what 2005 I want to say. Super old game. But I had always seen these trailers. I guess I should start with the announcement of Psychonauts 2. Then I saw they were doing like a Kickstarter thing. Then I saw some trailers, and then I saw a few people online being really excited about it. And I was like, I don't know. I don't really care about this game, but I don't know. I saw a trailer recently. The game looked really beautiful. It looked fun, and so I was like, let me just give this a shot. And I found it online for like $1. I was like, okay, why not? And it's been great, man. I've been having a blast with this game. I don't even care that it's so old. It doesn't feel. There's some things, you know. Obviously, the visuals are very dated, but the gameplay itself, it's like they were ahead of their time, man. Some of these the whole premise with Psychonauts is these guys they go into the minds of these other people and they try to fix whatever problem they're having, right? So you go into these worlds sometimes and it's so wacky. Like it's the weirdest game I've played in a long time, but it's awesome. I was in a world the other day where the dude is struggling with sort of insecurity. These jock guys would always make fun of him, and so in this world in his head, you're sort of like walking through, and you just see these dudes everywhere wearing these sports jackets, like jeering at you and making fun of you. I'm like, this is so weird, but I love this. It's really weird, strange stuff like that. But I feel like that's what and hold on, can we talk about the fact that Tim Schafer has the same like do you secretly him? Like do you guys
Yeah.
work for Double Fine together? Like it's
We
so
both
funny.
have like curly hair.
I know. It's so funny. I just
He may be the same like origin as me. He definitely looks Greek. I'm Greek. I don't know. He at least he's Italian or something. I don't know. He looks something like that. But
I remember before I knew you better and I just was like friends with you on Facebook. I'm like, where have I seen that name before? And then I of course this is what it was, you know, the guy who would head up Double Fine. But anyway,
he did Monkey Island games. He
oh
did
yeah, he's
Grim
done a lot of good
Fandango.
ones.
He did
Uh,
Day the Tentacle. There's a ton of 10 out of 10 adventure games that he's
yeah.
done.
Yeah, I want to
So,
go back and play them now because I feel like I've been missing out. I really like those kinds of games.
have you
But
played any of them? Have you
nope, I
played
haven't
any older Tim
I
Schafer?
literally have played none of their
No, they really are like the best of the best.
yeah, I've heard.
They're incredible.
I'm sure there's probably like a pack I can get of all the Double Fine adventure games, I'm sure.
Even the recent one, Broken Age, honestly,
Broken
that's
Age is
one of my
another one.
favorite ones. And
I gotta play that
that's
one.
probably what you should play because it's newer. It came out like 5 or 6 years ago. I think it was like around the beginning of PS4's release.
I want to say that I have. Yep, I have it right here. So I
Okay.
downloaded this, but I never.
You
Actually played
will
it.
love it because all of them kind of do this, but they all have this like underlining really creepy weird crap going on in the background, and you're just trying to play to figure out more on what slimy, disgusting crap is like society doing in whatever world's created. That's what he loves to do. And Broken Age, half the game you play as a girl, half the game you play as the guy. But I don't want to ruin too much, but
Okay.
with the girl story, once a year they have this festival and this monster comes to shore and feast on their daughters, basically. So they'll display like the prettiest daughters in the village or whatever. There'll be like 4 or 5 of them, and the girls are fighting over who the monster's going to choose to eat.
Oh
And
my
they're
god.
actually wanting to be eating because they feel like if the monster chooses them, they're the prettiest girl of them all. And but like the monster just completely rips them apart and just eats them in front of the whole village. And then like, oh, I'll be back next year. And then they try to pretty up new girls for him to choose. And
Wow.
so it's really, really interesting plots. And then you're saying it's really interesting with Psychonauts. I'm telling you, all of his stuff is like this.
Okay.
They're really
Okay.
out there things that are it's almost like watching an anime or something. You just need to know what's going to happen next
Yeah.
because the
Yeah.
weird stuff going on.
I'm looking now, and first of all, it seems like I've grabbed a few of these games over the years just randomly. Like Day of the Tentacle Remastered, I have Grim Fandango Remastered, Broken Age. I'm missing. I'm looking at all his other games. Brutal Legend, I've never played, and I've never played The Cave, and I've never played what's this other one here? I think that's it.
They're all great. Dang, I forgot about the cave. The cave's amazing. That
Yeah.
was Wii U. Like right when that system came out, that was one of the big games that was
All
on
right.
launch day.
I'm gonna download these.
Broken Age. One more thing, the
Yeah.
boy is Elijah Wood, so that's kind of cool.
I remember that. Okay, yeah. I'm gonna go back and play some of these then because I'm loving Psychonauts. It's great. I can't believe how much I'm actually enjoying it. And then I've been watching trailers for part 2 and it looks great. So yeah, maybe I'll go back and revisit some of these others. Besides that, it's been pretty much the same. I've just been playing those two mainly. So oh, I did want to tell you though, to shift gears a little bit, I've been catching up on Castlevania a little more now. And I'm wrapping up season 2 now, and it's getting really like I'm getting really excited. And but again, both you and my brother keep telling me, wait for season 3, wait for season 3. I'm like, damn, season 3 must be great because season 2 I'm loving already. So
The thing with season 2, how do I put this? Not compared to other things, just compared to Castlevania season 1 and 3. Season 1 and 3 have a lot of crazy action scenes in it, and season 2 not so much, but it's still really good. But it's almost like there's a lot of filler in season 2, and then right when season 3 starts, there's just like it ramps up in intensity again, like almost
I
like
see.
season 1.
Okay, well I'm definitely gonna keep watching. Very excited to see where it goes. So and then maybe I can finally finish The Witcher after that.
I
But
have
yeah,
yet to start season 4 Castlevania because I was
uh,
waiting. I wanted to just really set aside time, and I wanted to binge it and not be bothered by anything else kind of thing. But I need to get over that because I've been on this train of thought, oh, I need to be seeing season 4, and it's been out like a year now.
yeah, I stopped trying to do that because now it's so funny because Castlevania is a show with 20-minute episodes. And I'm still sitting here just slowly trucking through. Anytime I have a little time, all right, let me watch 15 minutes here. So I'm eventually gonna get through it. But maybe by the time I get to 4, maybe you'll watch it and we can talk about it. So
Actually, I could do that. I could just wait till you get to 4, and then we could watch at the same time. Maybe that'll give me incentive to watch it.
yeah, there you go. But yeah, man, that's all for me for now. How about you?
I'm gonna go into what I'm watching now, and it's just that Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Oh
You got
yeah.
me hooked. I'm
Oh my
telling
god.
you, I'm like
I'm
about to be
so
in
glad.
season 4
I'm
already.
so
I've
glad you
been
love it.
watching it. Anytime I go to bed, I'm just putting it on, and I watch like probably 6 to 8 episodes, and then it's like 1 a.m. and I'm like, okay, I need to go to bed. I
Dude,
love it
it's
so
so
much.
good.
I'm very much a dry humor person. Like nothing's
Right.
better than like Napoleon Dynamite for me. I'm very much in that vein. Just give me all of the cringe. I love it. Like
Yeah.
and oh my god, so many things just happen to him to where like completely out of his control, and you're
Yep.
just like walking around. Just everyone on planet Earth is just set to like bother him. Is what the show
Pretty
feels like.
much. Pretty much. That's what I love about it. He's just always stumbling into these situations, and sometimes he's right. Sometimes maybe
Yeah,
he's
I don't
not.
want to say he's innocent. That's the
Right.
wrong
No,
thing
it's
because
definitely
he definitely brings some of it on, but we all do the small bring on things. Like we'll
right.
be whatever, not in a good mood, so we say something dumb, but it escalates way worse than it ever should. Is I guess is the way it is.
I watch it with my wife, so that's why I'm not as far. I would definitely be doing what you're doing if it was just me, but you're already past me, so you're gonna have to let me know how. I hear that as the show. I hear that as the show continues, you start seeing a lot of big celebrities that you've seen over the years, and it just gets funnier and funnier. And there's even a new season coming out this year, which I think is nuts. That they're coming out with a new one, and I think he said after this next season that comes out at the end of this year, he wants to do maybe one more and then wrap it up. So I guess we have a lot of good stuff to watch leading
I
up to
have
it.
seen this show before though. Well, it was like a thing on YouTube, 10 minutes of like the best of this one season that I watched a few
Okay.
years ago. I went back and watched it because I saw it again on YouTube. And oh my God, it's the part when Trump was really big and the red hats. There's an episode, apparently, like I've seen clips of it at least, where like he purposely wears the Trump hat so nobody will mess with him.
That seems like such a thing he would do too. He doesn't care.
he
Oh,
he treats it like this all powerful hat, and then now he just gets to do whatever he wants because
oh
nobody
my
wants to sit
God.
next to him and nobody wants to deal with him.
Dude, that reminds me of an episode in season 2 that I'm sure you watched recently, where I can't remember specifically what he did, but he did something, and everyone in town was annoyed at him, and he was
He
loving it.
tripped. I just watched it. He
He
tripped
tripped
Shaq.
Shaq. That's what it was. He tripped Shaq, and it was cracking me up the way he was acting. Like he's going to get ice cream, and the guy's like coming up to him. Well, I'm not gonna need that. Wait, you don't need a recommendation from me anymore? I wrote so many good things about you. Like the way he handles it, it's awesome. It's
Yeah,
just
he
so
had
funny.
all these responsibilities that he had to like write a recommendation for someone's college. Then he had to write this like birthday poem or something
Yeah.
for this other person. Now he doesn't have to do that anymore because they don't want to
Oh
mess with
my
him.
God, so
And
good,
he's
so
like
good.
secretly happy and he's trying to pretend like, oh man, that really sucks.
Can't get it. Can't get
It is.
enough of it, man. There's so many episodes I could talk about that are just hilarious. But yeah, I gotta keep watching because that show just gets funnier and funnier to me so far. So I gotta watch Seinfeld too. I never actually watched all the way through Seinfeld, but
It makes
maybe
me
it's
want to
funny
watch
to
it because I didn't either. I only saw like episode here, episode there at someone's house or something like that. I never like went myself and purposely put it on.
right.
Playing the Back for Blood beta that's going on this weekend. I think I'm gonna get back on play a little today, but
Okay.
it's really good. It's really well made. It's gonna be a big success. My thing is I like Left 4 Dead, but I was never like a huge Left 4 Dead guy. And when I'm playing this, I'm like, okay, it's a better. It feels like Left 4 Dead 3. Okay, this is cool. This is good. But like, I guess you really need to have friends to play with, and you're shooting the crap while you're playing the game. Because when I'm just playing with randoms, I don't want to say I'm bored. Like it's well made. Like gunplay's great, zombies are great. There's awesome monsters. It's just the whole premise of the game as a whole. I'm just not really into that much.
I gotta play it with you because I've been meaning to do it. I just every time I get on my computer, actually, I have to play. Well, you got to play Halo with me as well, man. Because I go into these multiplayer matches by myself, and I just get so annoyed because no one's helping me, no one's talking, nothing. So if I
Bro,
can just go
all
in
it
and go out,
is people like, I want to play Halo so bad. And then I go and get on, and all it is rooms of snipers only or like battle rifles where they're killing you from across the map. You peek your head out for half a second and you're dead. And I'm
well,
just like, trying to play here and I'm having zero fun. I'm remembering the days of playing Halo 2 online. You run around with dual SMGs
right.
and like actually felt, I don't know, back and forth.
Well, don't worry because Halo 3 is the one I always play. So if you play with me, I'm pretty good at the game. But besides that, we can set whatever playlist we want. You want to do just normal Slayer where you start with the assault rifle and there's no everyone starting with a battle rifle, we can do that. If you want to do that, we can do battle rifles. We can do sniper, whatever. We have a lot of choices. So give it a shot with me once or twice, and I'm sure you'll have a better time than you're having now.
Because I had amazing times in the past, but right now I'm just getting wrecked at every corner and I couldn't be any more
Right.
mad.
I think it'll be fun, man. I've been having a blast playing it so much lately, and actually, I didn't mention that before. Yeah, I'm playing a ton of Halo multiplayer. I just love it again so much. So
Oh, well, what I did is I selected 1 through 4, or sometimes I'll leave 4 out and I'll have everything checked to the bottom, but I'm purposely trying to check a bunch of things so it rotates a bunch, but it never seems to actually play. I just need to actually select the mode I want to do.
Yeah,
instead of trying to select different things. Like Capture the Flag, I have yet to play one Capture the Flag match. Why? I had it checked. No one seems to want to play it, apparently.
yeah, I stick to usually Halo 3. I don't get me wrong, I like the others, but I'm not playing Halo 1 online. And Halo 2 is an awesome game. I just never was as into it as I was with 3. That was the one that kind of grabbed me. I played 4 and Reach online for a while too. I'm good at Reach. I can play Reach anytime, but I don't like the bloom thing. You know, when you shoot, you got to kind of take a second because the reticle gets bigger and smaller. I never was a fan of that.
I
So
never
I
played it, so I wouldn't
Oh,
know.
okay. Basically, it was you couldn't fire as fast as you could press the button. You could, but you would be inaccurate because every time you would shoot, it would your reticle
It
would
sprays instead
right,
of the straight
right.
shot.
It would be an accurate shot, but right as you shoot, the reticle would blow up and then it would shrink back down. So you'd have to kind of like pace your shots, which really annoyed me after a while. So
I know
um,
what you mean. I've seen other games do it where the cursor where you're firing like will get bigger or smaller because like if you're holding down the button, it's going to get bigger, so your spread's bigger.
they just took it to an extreme. You know, it was like a lot of time in between. So that's why I usually stick to 3. If 5 was on PC, I would play it on all the time, but obviously it's not. So 3 is the one I usually play. I just
I
think 3
love
is awesome
5,
maps.
but I never have anyone to play it with. But 5 may be the best multiplayer.
I'll play that with you too, man. 3, no, excuse me, 5 is awesome as well. So we can
Anyway,
definitely play some of those. But yeah, okay. So now
and
we're
then
all
I'm
caught up.
playing Metal Gear Solid 1. Well, I played A and beat it. It took like 2 days. I played it nonstop because again I've been sick, so I literally like waking up to going to sleep pretty much playing the game, and then finished it the second day
Nice.
because I loved it so much. I
Great
haven't
game.
played the first one since I was, I don't know, 11, 12, 13, maybe even younger. I mean, that's just
Right.
PS1 days. Like, realistically, I should be like 9 or 10 playing this thing. But again, we're not like playing it at release. We're kids. We get it whenever we get it. But I am playing Twin Snakes, the GameCube version, because I was going back and forth between the two. Everyone says like Twin Snakes is kind of dumb because with the first person, you can kind of rig it. But I just want to go in it for the story and I just want to remember what all happened because I want to play through the whole series. I do not care about getting the actual like gameplay experience of like how hard or easy it is. Like I was really tempted to just put it on very easy, but I left it on normal. It's still like if they were to release it today, I mean, all they have to do is just clean it up like in terms of graphics and left everything the exact same and it would still be a masterpiece. Like
Oh
I
yeah,
don't
totally
get
agree.
how good it is. It's way too good than what it deserves to be. And I'm just sitting there thinking like I guess Kojima really is just like a godsend of game development. The whole time as I'm playing through, I'm just like, just want to see what's gonna happen next with all these weird, crazy villains. There's so much like secret messaging on how the world is, or it's a super good history lesson on past events. Like I learned more playing this than I ever did in school in history class, you know.
Of course. Yep.
And then it's a bunch of messaging on like how we should treat each other and what the future holds for us on stuff even beyond where we're at right now. And this game came out in the 90s. We're like 2021 now. And there's stuff in this spelling out things, even something that may happen in 10 years from now. I don't get how you could look that far in the future and be so correct and accurate on how things would be in that time, you know.
Right. The game was clearly ahead of its time, man. I mean, there's nothing but good things to say about that game. So, and even some of the others that came after it. So,
And it's so epic. The boss battles aside, just as you're playing it, there's so many like completely different moods with environments with strong moods in them. They make you feel something in every different area that you go. And then the bosses, I mean, like, okay, a dude who controls ravens and has a huge Gatling gun, but also like has a tank that lays out mines or something. I don't know. It's so weird. And and the fact of knowing where the series went too, because Metal Gear Solid 4 is, I always try to pick between Final Fantasy 7 or Metal Gear Solid 4 is like my favorite game ever.
right.
And Metal Gear Solid 1 couldn't be the better complement to the whole series between 4 because 4 goes back to the last elimination where 1 TL is guessing you.
Those games are awesome, man. I have to play them again sometime. It's been a long time since I've played any of those games, but I remember I ran through all of them in anticipation of 5 coming out at the time, and I just love them. I thought the only one that I won't say I didn't like it. I liked 4 a lot, but didn't grab me the same way the others did because it was like it was just all about the story and stuff, and I missed some of the other things that I really loved about the others. I think 3 was probably my favorite one overall.
Yeah, 4 is very overwhelmingly story and not nearly as much gameplay. Like, I want to say it's like maybe 15 hours of gameplay and like 25 hours of story.
Exactly. Yep. So
But I loved it because of whatever. Like, I love the story of it so much. I could sit down and I'll totally watch a 40-hour movie of Metal Gear Solid. Like, I don't care.
Oh yeah.
I don't have to play it at all. Like, and I remember that being the constant complaint online of like, man, like it's just so much story and so many cutscenes. That's all it is. And I'm sitting there thinking, like, yeah, I mean, you're not wrong, but I'm eating it up.
Yeah.
And then Hades, I played. So I had it on Switch when it originally came out. I played like an hour or two of it, and I was like, I mean, I could tell it's well made. It looks great, all that. I'm like, I don't really like roguelites. I don't like dying and starting over. Just want to like keep going through levels or whatever, blah, blah, blah. And I still just keep having this complaint, and it never really clicked. But it hit on Xbox and PlayStation yesterday, the day before. Can't remember when it was, Friday. And then, but it hit Game Pass. I'm like, well, I'm curious how it looks on like 4K 60 as compared to on Switch, but the way the art style is, it's not like it would really matter. But I still just wanted to see it in action because it's like 3 gig download. Might as well play it on there. And then I'm telling you, I played from 9 p.m. to 3:30 in the morning, and it was driving me crazy, but in all the right ways. I felt like I was like playing Mega Man again or something,
right.
And you get to the boss, and then you have like 1 life left. He wrecks you immediately, and then you're going through the whole level all over again. Okay, well, I got to play this level way better. That way I have enough health and all of that, so whenever I play the boss again, I can actually do it. I guess it is in that same vein. It feels very like Mega Man-y, I guess.
Well, it keeps making you want to try one more and go for it. That's why when I played Returnal recently, I'm not a big roguelite kind of person either. But something about that game, the gameplay felt so good that it made me want to just keep going and going and going. So I think that's literally what they're trying to do with those games. So either you like them or you don't. Usually I don't.
It's really weird because of how much your skill improves, because I'm sitting here wiping out areas to where like, dude, I died like a dozen times in this spot. Now I'm finishing it and maybe losing 10 health. Like, it's pretty awesome. I just keep going back to Mega Man because I remember very clearly, like, I cannot beat this level for the life of me, and I'm playing it like for days. And next thing I know, when I go back and play these levels that I remember being so hard and I'm clearing through it no problem, I'm like, okay, my skill has gotten much better. It's a good feeling.
Yeah, no, it's pretty awesome, man. Let me know how you like it as you keep going, because I played a little bit of it just like you, and then I kind of fell off, and it was for no particular reason. I thought it was great what I played of it, but just didn't keep going. So maybe I'll have to give it another shot sometime.
I'm having this feeling of like, man, this may be one of the better games I've ever played. It's like the feeling I'm getting.
That's how everyone talks about it. So
yeah,
and those guys make good games.
So we're going to go ahead and get into the main topic of the week, Pokemon card collecting. What's been going on with the recent spike in people collecting Pokemon cards? And I actually got someone who does it pretty religiously. We have him here on the show. Jake, how you doing?
Good. I'm happy to be here. Excited to talk about some Pokemon.
Because we know really nothing about this. I mean, I don't. Rue, do you have any idea why this is even going on? Or do you even know how it works in general? Or did you ever even collect Pokemon cards as a kid?
I have a huge collection somewhere that I'm trying to find now from when I was a kid, because I have a friend similar to Jake who is really into this. He sends his cards off to get graded and then he sells them and all this stuff. So I'm like, oh, let me try to find mine, but I have no luck yet. But that's the extent of my knowledge about any of this stuff. I know it's just been blowing up. So
like in your house or at your parents' house?
My parents' house. My son comes out the other day, a few weeks ago. He has a Blastoise in his hand, like a beat up Blastoise from my childhood. I'm like, where did you find this? He's like, upstairs. I'm like, show me where. My son's 3. He's like, over there. He just points to the room. I'm like, where? Show me where. I'm like, looked everywhere in the room. I cannot find this binder of these cards that might be worth something. So still looking.
He probably even had the binder.
he just has them. He has them in his toy box or something.
So can you explain to us why you think even recently it's gone way up in value and in people looking for them and all of this?
Well, for one, there's a shortage with COVID going on. The PSA is the grading company that grades the cards. And with COVID going on, they basically shut down to where you have to pay a very high fee to get cards graded. So you're seeing a lot less cards graded. So it's making the market look like there's less cards than there really are because people aren't able to send them in to get graded. You'll notice it like spiked right when COVID hit, and now it's kind of coming down a little bit. I think it's because people are using different grading systems now to grade their cards, so they're able to sell the cards more. It's taken off for sure. People are at home. Notice there was a fight in Target. So Target's limiting their sales. They like completely halted all card sales. This was about 5-6 months ago.
Oh, that's why. I was wondering why.
Yeah, because like people were trying to go in and get cards and it's like you can't get anything. They opened it up about a month ago. They limited it to 2 purchases per person. So you could only buy and it didn't matter what you got. You could get like a big box or 1 pack, but you were only able to get 2 up until about a week and a half ago. My buddy went to get some cards from Target. And of course they're like, nah, there was another fight in Wisconsin. We can't sell them anymore. It's crazy.
So like nationwide?
Oh yeah. Nationwide. Dude, the scalpers are taking over.
Oh yeah.
I've started watching TikTok videos of like people waiting in line at the Walmarts to buy, and they'll like show their video of what they got, and they're walking out with 2 big boxes worth of trading cards, like just taking the entire shelf, reselling them, making bank doing it. I mean, there's nothing anybody can do because you're limited to where you can buy your cards, especially with like Target being out of service. You can go to trading card stores and you're going to get marked up, but I mean, it's either that or getting them on an online store.
Wow.
And with trading card shops, like, do they have the packs open? Are they still sealed and you're just paying more?
They're still sealed and you're paying more. I actually went to a really nice one. It's in Pensacola down there by Target, on Bayou by the mall, Price Busters. They have an insane selection of like trading cards, just like really cool stuff in there. And it's not just Pokemon. I mean, they have Yu-Gi-Oh! And Magic and all sorts of crazy stuff in there, like Dragon Ball Z cards and just like figures that you can get, like the pop. They had like a pop from My Hero that was like sold only at Comic-Con in LA. So it was like a limited run. You couldn't like just go online and order it. You had to be in LA to buy it. And they actually had one, and it was like $220. But my buddy didn't buy it, and he went back the next day to get it after he convinced his wife, and they had already sold it. So it's a pretty popular store, and I actually bought a couple Charizards in there when I stopped by, because I mean Charizard's the card to have right now. If you like collect any Pokemon cards, Charizard is the card that everybody wants. At any set, he's always the chase card out of every set that has him in it. So Charizards are the most sought after cards.
Wait, has that ever changed? Like, I feel like when I was a kid, Charizard was the card. You get it in a booster pack, you go crazy. Is that still, that's never changed, huh?
It's never changed, man. It's all the way up until, I mean, the most recent packs with Champion's Path and Burning Shadows and just other Pokemon sets. He's the most sought after card for sure. The last 2 that they have is Chilling Reign and Battle Styles. And neither set has a Charizard, but they have really cool cards like the Gold Charizard. My buddy personally has opened over 600 packs and has not pulled it. And he has like been chasing that card like you would not believe. 600 packs is a ton of money if you're sitting there wondering that. But
how much is an average pack? $10?
About $5, $5 to $6, depending on if you buy the set. You can get the Elite Training Box, which is $40. And it comes with 8 packs, and then it comes with a couple other things like a collectible token and stuff like that.
You think you've spent over 10 grand on cards?
I wouldn't say that much. I've spent a decent amount on them. I look at it as an investment, honestly.
Sure.
It started really when my buddy Brandon And to be honest, like it sounds like I've probably been collecting for a long time, but I only started this year.
Why did you start this year? Yeah.
Yeah, my buddy Brandon, he sent me a link on eBay for a first edition Pokemon pack, and I was like, bro, I don't care about any of this. Like, what are you doing? And you'll know, like, I've played some of the games, but I've never been like in on Pokemon. I didn't collect them as a kid at
I
all.
played a ton of Pokemon all growing up, and then I fell off only because the games are just getting stale. And me and Rudy were talking about that. He's in the same boat. But he's played a ton of them, and same with me. But you never really did. I think you played maybe 2 of them, and so I'm also really curious, like, okay, well, of all things, why Pokemon cards, especially you not even being that big into Pokemon?
I remember playing X and Y on 3DS very vividly, like the first X and Y.
Wow, that was the last.
So funny. That's the last
earlier
one,
in the show, both me and Rudy were saying that was the last Pokemon we actually cared about.
That's so funny because it really was so awesome, and I was like, man, this is so great, and I loved that game. And I remember playing through it, and then I was like, from then on, I played all of them. And I'll be honest, like what you just said with it being stale, it was like never like that again from that moment on. Even Sword and Shield, like I blew through it and was like, am I playing like a child's game? Like I know it's probably meant for kids, but
I felt like I was forcing myself to play them, but I never really actually liked it much.
Exactly. It was like the way I felt playing the last Kirby game. It was like holding your hand through the game.
Yeah.
Even though it was entertaining, it just was so easy. It took away from some of the challenge.
So Brandon, he's showing you this card that he got.
So he sends me this link to eBay for these first edition packs. And I'm like, dude, what is all this? Like, I don't really care about this. And he's like, sends me a link to how much these cards are worth if you pull like the chase card. Man, that does sound really fun. It's essentially like you're playing the lottery, but with Pokemon cards. So it's a lot more entertaining. But regardless, he sends me this link. He buys a pack. He's buying multiple packs, works like offshore. So he's just got nothing to do. He just sits on eBay while he's bored in his downtime. And he sends me these packs and I'm like, I guess I'll get one. These are like $300. But if you pull like the best card out of the set, I mean, it could be worth up to $5,000, $6,000, $10,000.
What's your chances? I mean, you're buying a $300 pack. I mean, what's your chance of pulling anything good?
It's so they're weighed. You can get the packs, they're weighed on a scale. So if they weigh more than like a certain amount of grams, then you know you're going to get a hollow in it. And so there's about 70 cards in the early sets. Only about 15 of them are going to be hollows. So if you look at it like that, you have a 1 in 15 chance of pulling like the cards you really want to pull.
They list the weight for you?
Yeah. So some people scale it and have a picture of the pack on the scale. Okay. So that's how you can determine it. And so like when you would buy them in like a booster box, which comes with 36 packs, each one of them weighs like about the same with their non-hollows. And then the hollows in that box will weigh more than that. So then you'll list it as like a heavy pack. And everyone will know it was like one of the heavier packs in that booster box.
Oh, okay.
So regardless, I bought a pack. It was $300. It came in the mail. I called my buddy on video chat because he got me to buy the pack and pumped me up about it. And I'm not going to lie, opening that pack was like the most hyped I've ever been in recent memory. I mean, not even just the fact that it was like such an old thing, but like there's nostalgia to Pokemon regardless of if you played it. Man, this is an old Pokemon pack. This is taking me back to like early childhood. I'm 7 years old when this pack came out. So just to put that in perspective, I'm sitting there opening that pack. My hands are shaking. I'm like, am I going to pull something good? Am I going to pull something good? And I ended up pulling like a non-hollow card, but it was still worth like $150 because it's a first edition rare. So, I mean, I didn't get my money back with that one card, but it's just, I have all these other cards that are worth like $10 to $5 a pop if you want to sell them. So you really end up only losing about $50 if you don't get one of the rare hollow cards. But I mean, from that moment on, I immediately got another pack within a week and same result, but still the same level of hype. And I'll never forget, my buddy came back from being offshore. He had gotten about 9 first edition packs. But so when he came back, he had opened up his packs and didn't pull any hollows. He was upset. On like his second to last or last pack, before I get into him opening the pack, I was just reading online about like the rarest cards in the set. And this is a first edition fossil pack. It's not the base set, which has the Charizard in it. So this is the fossil set, and there's different chase cards in this set. So he's pulling, and I'm reading online like rarest cards, just wanting to see what I hope he pulls. And there was like a Snorlax was really good, a Dragonite was really good, and there was like the Lapras is one of the cards that's like really recently spiked because no one's pulling it. And then there was a few others. Brandon goes to open his pack. He's sad because all the packs he got weren't heavy because they're very expensive. Like a heavy pack's like $600 compared to $200 to like $350. So you really have to pay for that, but sometimes you get lucky and it's just some of the cards are weighed less. So Brandon's opening his pack, going from card to card, and he gets to the last card and he slowly lifts it, and it's a perfect condition hollow Lapras worth about $8,000 if it's a PSA 10. And he's going crazy. So imagine me sitting there watching that. Yeah. I'm like, I got to.
You're going to be like, dang, I want to join.
Yep. I got to get another pack. Like, this is incredible. So about 2 weeks later, I'm at FYE in the mall, in Cordova Mall. They have the new Chilling Reign packs. And like, I haven't been in Pokemon in forever. All I bought is a couple first edition packs on eBay. And I've seen about 22 Pokemon cards. And so I buy a pack and then I send it to my buddy. He's like, that's it. So I'm like, all right. I go back and get the ETB with 8 packs, go home, open them up, get a bunch of awesome cards. I mean, the way the cards look now, completely different than how they looked then. I mean, it's like essentially a video game at this point. You have cards that went from like 8-bit Nintendo to like Nintendo Switch levels. Like, they're fully graphics, they're like textured, you can feel them like they have fingerprints. It's insane how they look now. And I mean, from then on, I was like, I got to get more packs. And the older packs you buy, the better cards you get because they're worth more money. And it's such like it's like a high. It's but it's like it's worth something. Like, you're not just wasting your money buying these. Like, you can sell your collection for thousands of dollars, and it's so easy now because it's at the tip of our fingers. eBay, Facebook groups, there's so many gaming like bidding sites where you can list your product, and there's never going to not be a demand for Pokemon. I mean, it's the highest media franchise in the world.
Yeah, so I wanted to talk about that. So with any other collection of you buying stuff, the problem is like, okay, after 5 or 6, even 10 years, it's going to eventually fall off and lose the hype. Like, we can think back on the Beanie Baby thing or anything like that. But with Pokemon's been around since, what is it, late 80s, early 90s, somewhere in there. 30 years later, or however long it's been.
The 25-year anniversary is coming up in October, and I've actually got the Ultra Premium Collection pre-ordered, and it's about $150 to $180 depending if you can find it. Scalpers already have it up for $500 if they got their pre-order locked in. Yeah, but it comes with a gold Pikachu, a silver-plated Charizard, and a Pikachu, and the special packs that have like 4 trading cards in them from like over the last 25 years. So it's a very sought-after item. A lot of people are, including myself, I'm considering keeping it sealed because like the $60 box back in 2015 is selling for about $600 right now. So one can only imagine what the $150 box sealed would sell for in 5 years. You know, I mean, it could be triple that, $1,500. I mean, it's essentially a stock that you're physically holding rather than just having it out there like on your app or wherever you buy trade stock. Like, you get to physically have it and look at it.
So I looked it up. Pokemon's been out. February 1996 is when it released in Japan. That is way later than I was expecting because at that point, the Game Boy wasn't... Well, that's so weird. Like, we're all playing on original Game Boys. Why would they even release it on the original Game Boy in 1996?
Trying to get us money. I think they probably had a decent install base by then. But listen, I wanted to address something you said a minute ago, Tim, about the popularity of Pokemon and stuff. Now, Jake.
Yeah, why would you be investing all this stuff if it was just going to fall off? Do you think it's like still just going to be going for a long time?
Well, I think it's one thing I noticed is you guys know who the Paul brothers are, right? Logan Paul. You guys know who he is, right?
Yeah.
He started doing this thing. I watched his podcast here, and like a year or two ago, he started talking about Pokemon, and he's buying these cards, and he's doing live streams and everything. And I feel like that's all I heard. After that, it's everywhere. So do you think these guys are affecting this at all, the popularity of it?
Definitely, he increased the value of the base set Charizard, because if you notice, he had one on his necklace,
Right.
and it literally increased the value of that card from like 100,000 to like 3 million for that
Holy
card,
crap.
because I believe there's only like 7 to 10 of those cards in existence.
Wow.
And it's because there's so few of packs. Like, to put in perspective, and this is going to make you sick knowing you didn't do this. The booster box, the base set booster box, which was about $100 back in 1999, sold for $330,000 a few weeks ago.
Jeez.
Just if we just knowing that it was there, and nobody would think to keep those sealed except a few select amount of people. So it's hard to pull that Charizard with such a limited amount of packs out there. So that's why the value is so high, is because of that. And it's funny, the Evolution series, which came out in 2015, 2016, they were basically reprints of the base set. That's what they were made for. And
can you tell? Is there small?
Yeah, I mean it's got the date on the bottom. Like, it's not exact, but it's like where it's based off of. I mean, they're classic edition looking cards. They're not like how they are now. The holos are like, oh my god, it's like, it looks very, very 1999. Okay. And I'll never forget it. This is how I got my first Charizard. It's a quick story, but one day I was browsing Facebook, and of course it's suggesting ads, and you always skip over them. But this one was an interesting, very few followed Pokemon site called Pokemon Swag Shop. And it's this guy in California who does rip and ships, which is where you purchase packs by sending him Venmo, and he opens them live on his stream while talking to everyone in the chat, and then he mails them to you afterwards.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, it was pretty interesting, and I was like, I'll go to that. But this was like a week and a half in advance. So I clicked going on the event planner on Facebook. The day came up. It was a Friday night. I was doing nothing, just hanging out at the house, and it reminded me. And I was like, oh yeah, I'll join this. And this is right when I started collecting all these packs, and Brandon was into it as well. And I sent it to him. I was like, hey, this guy's going to open packs. You should join in, and we'll just watch. So we start watching. I mean, people are pulling bangers. This guy's got booster boxes everywhere from different sets, all the way back to vintage packs that are $300 each, but they're back in 2005. And it's the only place where you can get vintage packs on a rip and ship. So, and rather than ordering on eBay, waiting till they come to your house, you can see him open them right there on the spot. And so we're watching. I'm like, I'm going to get some packs. So I sent for about 8 packs, and I got an Evolutions pack on the last one. And the chase card is the Charizard. So, and it's not a special holo. They do have fully textured cards in the set, like a Blastoise looks really cool. But then they have the Charizard that's meant to look like the base Charizard. And he's opening the packs. He gets to the last pack out of my 10, which was the Evolutions. And he cheats by peeking at the back card. This just the corner of it, not the whole card. You don't know what's going on. He's opened so many packs, he knows. And he's opening them fast. So he just glances real quick and he'll know. So he's talking about it, and he's like, we don't have a banger in here. It's just it's going to probably be an original holo or something. He's opening it, going to the end, slightly pulls it up and sees the orange in the background. And he's like, wait a minute. And he slowly pulls it up and sees tail whip is the attack, and it's got the fire next to it. And he's like, wait a minute. And he pulls it up, and it's Charizard, and he goes crazy because this card in a PSA 10 sells for about $3,500. So I'm losing my mind. I just bought 8 packs from this random guy online and just pulled the chase card out of the Evolution set worth $3,500, and I'm going crazy. It was so hype. And awesome. From then on, I go every single weekend. He does it twice a week, Friday and Saturday nights, and I just go in there. Everyone buys packs. You learn so much because of all the sets that he has. You learn to know what the chase cards are, what's worth money. He's so informative of it whenever he's pulling the cards. It's a great time, and I feel like it really helped me learn a lot about Pokemon.
How much did you pay for that pack or any of the pack?
That pack is about $16, and It depends on what packs. Yeah, it's about $16 packs to go up to 300. It's very. He's got a good variety of packs though, so you can get up to like a $4 pack of battle styles if you want.
Of like a higher value than just like $5 or $10. Do you have maybe 100 cards?
I have
50
a
cards?
collection I have a 300 card binder filled with rare cards that are non-holo rares, reverse holo rares, and then the regular foil rares, which are holos, and then I have the full. I have a huge collection, and it's 300 cards, and it fills up my entire binder. And then I have about 7 ETB boxes filled with common and uncommon.
So those like 300 cards, I mean, you can technically sell them for like a few grand, it sounds like.
Agreed. I could easily sell this if I got all the cards graded, which would cost money. Grading cards is a decent amount. That's why a lot of people are waiting for PSA to open back up so you can start getting them graded in bulk. Because it's like $200 to get a card graded compared to like $10-15 back when you're sending in bulk cards. But I would say it's at least valued over $6,000-$7,000, and that's with me like not even individually listing every single card and getting them graded.
Yeah, I'm not trying to get too specific. I'm just curious if like you feel like you've been getting your worth, I guess.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay.
In excitement alone and knowing like what cards are good and what cards are not good, like you definitely get your money's worth, especially going vintage. And that's the best part about buying the cards from the stream, because it's so easy to get older packs that you can't get anymore, and those are always going to be valued more.
I imagine you know way more about Pokemon now.
Oh yeah, so much more. Yeah,
I couldn't list all the Pokemon. You probably could. I don't know.
Yeah,
I guarantee you could list more than me.
I got a variety.
I can't remember past 150. Even in the original 150, I'll forget.
I think realistically, I could probably list maybe 300 Pokemon, and there's like about 800.
Damn, I can't believe it's gotten that big. It's nuts.
Because like every generation is like 50 to 100 new. Some of them would be more than that. I guarantee you I can name most of them in the first 3 gens. And then like I can name a lot in other ones, like in Sun and Moon or an XY or I think I could do 300.
I'm gonna have to put you to the test, man. I don't know. I don't know if I could do it. So
that would be fun if we could just pull all Pokemon where they don't show the names and see how many we can name.
That would be a really fun game. That would be a really fun game.
How many people can remember the numbers though? Does anyone remember the numbers at
all?
Oh
God, no.
Bulbasaur is the first one. That's all I remember. And Mew is 151.
Do they list the numbers on the cards? Like the Pokédex number? Do they list them on the Pokemon cards?
I don't think so, right?
They have the set number. So it'll have like 127 out of 189.
Oh, no. You know, like the Pokédex numbers that each Pokemon...
Oh, no. Yeah, it doesn't. It doesn't.
I mean, I knew surface level stuff about this because I have a friend who's also way into this, but the one thing I found really interesting I wanted to ask about earlier is, so do people show up to these stores with like a little scale in hand to see, like, did I understand that correctly, that if they weigh it they can tell if there's something good in there?
Online they list it that it's heavier than normal, but
so modern cards you can't do it. It's not like that. It's only it's basically, I believe it's 2011 and before. I might be wrong, it might be 2009, but you can't weigh the cards anymore. Okay. And the Pokemon Swag Shop guy, he's a really cool guy. He did like a whole thing about it, showing it proof that it's impossible to weigh modern cards compared to the vintage. And that's why, yeah, you'll see people listing them as heavy, and that's to fool the common guy. Like, oh, I'm about to buy a heavy pack. Like, you're still gonna... Okay. You could pull a basic card.
It's pretty awesome, man.
I mean, do you like that or do you not? I mean, I guess there's pros and cons to it.
The worst part is so when you're opening packs, this is a funny tip, but when you're opening packs, if you're new, you'll notice there's a green code card and a white code card when you open up the packs, and that's got a code on it to where you can like do the online trading card game, which it's all right, but it has a code on it to get a free pack. And
but it lets you use the card for the online game. That's cool.
Yeah, it's interesting. Definitely has a fan base. I mean, when people stream, they show the code on the screen, and you know somebody's taking that immediately. Like they're logged in waiting for that moment. But you'll notice there's a green and a white code card. But if you get a green code card, you're not getting anything worth anything. You're not getting a holographic card. There's no holo in that. So but there's some errors, which is super rare. I mean, 1 out of maybe 200 green code cards, you'll get something like, oh, okay, and you'll know it was an error. But most of the time, you'll see a green code card, and it's very deflating, regardless of if you're watching on a stream or opening in hand. It'll just make you want to go straight to the rare and not even get the slow lit. Because there's a card trick where when you open a pack, you take the top 3 cards and put them in front, or top 4 cards and put them in front. It's 3 for vintage packs. And then when you flip them over, the rare card is automatically in the back. So then you would open them. And the reason they do that is the rare card's most protected in the middle of the deck compared to the end. So they keep it in the middle. So you have to take 4 cards, put it in front, and then you can do the opening to where you can slowly do it if you're into doing that, which is that's what most of the streamers do. It gets you hyped for the last card and then see if it's a banger or not.
So have you ever watched on YouTube? His name's Charlie. I can't think of it. Penguin Zero. Do you know?
Oh yeah, Moist Critical.
Yeah. he does pack opening videos a lot of times. He usually does Yu-Gi-Oh, but sometimes he'll do Pokemon. That's the only person I've ever watched opening packs, whatever like that. But even him, I learned I didn't know it went this deep on how well you could just the very moment you open a pack, like you were saying, seeing the little things, or they're looking at them for not even half a second and they're moving on and they already know what it is. I was I can't imagine opening that many packs and being that good to where you're just flying through them and knowing exactly what you're seeing just by little things that you're just flashing in front of your eyes for half a second. I'd be staring at the card for a good 2 or 3 minutes before I would even okay, and looking online trying to figure out what it is, and they just know right off the top of their head. I mean, there's thousands of them, right? I don't.
So you can usually tell most of the time, the cards that are worth money, they'll have a texture to them. It won't be like the other cards. Most cards are just it's glossy, very glossy, and there's no
But there's exceptions too, though, right? Sometimes the card won't be textured and it'll be worth a ton.
Very rarely, depending on the card. Now, if it's a Charizard, always. If it's one of the OGs, it's always going to be something like Snorlax, Pikachu, Jigglypuff and stuff like that. Not that much, but the big ones.
The more special a Pokemon is in general and Pokemon lore, is it also worth more in card base? Do you find?
So that's the crazy thing. So the Pokemon that are the main Pokemon of the current generation,
let's say a Mewtwo, or let's say a Zapdos, or something special.
Both
Pokemon.
Of those are cards that people sought after. Mewtwo, Zapdos,
Articuno.
Dude, yeah, they're nice. You're listing them right now. Those are the ones that people are after right there, and it's just
because those are from our childhood the most special.
Right.
Yeah, and Lugia, I believe, is going to be one of the ones coming up. He's one of the cards that people sought after a lot, are always after, is Lugia. He's a big one, and Rayquaza. A lot of people are always after him.
It's Moltres.
Tim, we might have to get into this now. Now we have the knowledge of the popular Pokemon.
I mean, I know popular Pokemon in my head, the special ones.
The next set.
What about that legendary one? The new game coming out, Arceus or whatever. Is there even cards of him?
So I don't believe so, but I know Evolving Skies is coming out later this month, in about 2 weeks actually, and people it's the new set coming out of cards. It's gonna have the best cards are all the flying Pokemon, hence the name Evolving Skies. Rayquaza is one of the chase cards, a very cool.
That's that green long,
green long dragon looking one. Yep, and it's funny because there's an alternate art Vaporeon in it, and everybody is dude, right now people are paying $500 plus for the raw card of that, which is an ungraded. They're taking a full-on risk. I mean, imagine going to the store and paying $3 or $4 for a pack, pull that card, and someone's like, I'll give you $500 for that right now. Whoa. And I mean, people are sharing them online that they got in the pre-release boxes. Some people are able to get those for $20. And they pulled that, and it's insane. I got 5 packs pre-ordered on GameStop just to see, because everywhere else is sold out. but
So you can
maybe I'll
open a
get lucky.
pack and go pretty quick through them and know what you got or not without having to really look it up much.
Yeah, you'll know. I mean, pricecharting.com, they have everything locked in. You go in there and click Pokemon trading cards, it'll list every single set, and it'll have the price for every one last sold in this up to the day that they sold, the link to where it's sold on eBay or whatever website, and you can always check the current market value on there. And there's also an app you can get for iPhones, TCG Player, where you can scan the card and it'll tell you what it's worth rolling and graded and all that. So it's gotten a long way that not a lot of people would think of. Like, I can get an app that scans my Pokemon card and puts the value there. Like,
it's getting nuts, man.
Oh, back to my original question before we end this. So in general though, why, like, okay, 5 years ago, now all of a sudden Pokemon card collecting is way bigger than it ever was. Why do you think that happened? Not the recent, because of COVID in last year and something being shut down, but in general, it has gone through a huge spike.
Well, honestly, this sounds crazy, but imagine, like, it came out in 99 and most of the people buying that were kids. There weren't adults buying Pokemon cards. Those kids are now having their own kids who are then into Pokemon. So you have like another generation on top of a current generation who grew up with that, buying it and enjoying it for nostalgia, whatever reason they're enjoying it. It's something to share with their kids too. My buddy is the perfect example. I work with them, Chris. This is the friend of mine that has bought over the 600 packs of Chilling Reign. That's just one set that he's bought, and he works at a brokerage firm like I do, running freight, and he runs freight for Tesla. He makes a decent penny, and so he's buying these packs and packs, and like, he has his son who's 7 who didn't know anything about Pokemon, not a single game, nothing. I show my buddy how much these cards are worth. He started buying packs. His son saw him with the packs, immediately was hooked, hype as you can imagine, because he pulled a Charizard on one of his first few packs, spoiled his kid from the start, thinking that's how it is every single time. So now his son is hype, and him and his wife, he had a date night the other night where they just got like a hotel room and opened packs and watched the stream and ordered packs. Like, that was their night. They got a babysitter and everything. And it's just like, that's how fast it's happening. Like, people that grew up with it are now able to share it with their kids. So then you have like double the people.
We're adults now. We're not kids anymore.
We're still interested in Pokemon, and now we're like teaching our kids about Pokemon. That's They're awesome. Getting hyped about it as well, because there's always going to be games for them.
My kid, he does really love Pokemon. He likes watching the show. He has some cards. He's always trying to get me to play with them. He does really like Pokemon.
And so imagine when he's like 13 or 14 and he's like is able to grasp like the Pokemon like trading card game, and he knows what they're worth, and like, it's just he knows the cards that he wants in his set because they're going to be the rare cards. And by then, with all the knowledge and cell phones, he's going to know immediately what it's worth to by then. It's like,
side story is super funny. Is like, so his cousin, we went up like Memphis and they were playing Pokemon cards, whatever. I just assumed he was teaching them correctly because he was like 12 or 13. Anyway, I was just playing with him a few days ago, and he's telling me all these rules that are completely made up BS because the kids just make it up whatever how to play. I had to teach him every little thing and how it actually worked. And then he never thought that his cousin would lie. And he had this realization of like, oh my God, he was lying to me the whole time. And he got like legit mad, and he wanted to like call him and like yell at him for him explaining him a game that it didn't work like that.
It's like that episode of The Office whenever they find the board game during that cell they're playing. It's like, that's Dallas. As they go.
He was clearly just saying whatever so he could win. Like, once I started figuring out, like, once he was telling me how to play, and it was like, oh my God, he was screwing you over bad just so he could win. Like, this isn't remotely how it works, but anyway.
Well, thanks for dropping all that knowledge on us. It's very interesting. So
yeah, for sure, anytime. I'm always down to talk about it too, because it's an ever-changing thing. Like, I'm never going to not be collecting these sets now that I'm addicted. So it's definitely something to get into if you're interested in like just having like a physical. Like I said, I look at it as like how you have these NFTs, which is like digital art basically. Like, this is just physical. and you can actually just go in your bedroom and take it out of your binder and just hold it and look at it. I mean, it's an awesome thing to look at, knowing like the value of something like that. It's just like a piece of cardboard, but it's so close to your childhood. Like we're still playing the games 30 years later almost. So
It's nuts, man.
It's awesome.
I just got a Twitter notification, Wario64, 13 Sentinels, $25. Have y'all ever played 13 Sentinels? Because that game is amazing.
I've been wanting to play.
That's like one of the better JRPGs to exist on the PS4. So
maybe I'll pick that
just
up.
Saying, you should pick it up because that game is anyway. Sorry.
It's all good. No, thanks for the heads up because I've had my eye on that game for quite some time.
I played a good 10 hours of it and it's worth all the praise it gets. Just know it's very story heavy.
Okay.
But, yeah, I mean, I guess that's it. I'll see you guys next week. Take care. No, my kid. Leon, you gotta be quiet, dude. He's like singing a song in the background.
By the way, if that ever happens on this side, let me know because these kids are so loud in the other room.
It was so hard to do. And I saw you were cheating over with honorable mentions. Bro, you can't do honorable mentions.
No honorable mentions, huh?
You have to stick to top 5.
Okay,
doing
fair
honorable
enough.
mentions.
Fair enough.